What's up, YouTube? It's Dylan. Today I'm going to be talking about how self-love is actually harming you and what to do instead. So, to define self-love and how it's harmful and the ways that it's harmful to you, I want to use the societal contextual definition of, and I get this from a lot of peers from my past and on social media that I've seen defining self-love as indulgence, basically, like pleasures and things of that, like giving yourself a break by watching Netflix all day, by eating junk food, by maybe partying, drinking alcohol, smoking weed, whatever, or going on a shopping spree. Any guilty pleasures like that, if they are in the name of self-love, I believe they can be harmful. Now, there's nothing wrong in moderation for most things. There's a lot of things that can also be harmful, even in small amounts, such as drugs, just pretty much all drugs. But this is my opinion, and I'm going to share my story around that in the next video that I post. But I believe that these things are harmful if they are used in the way of giving yourself a break, giving yourself a self-love day. And what that looks like is going out shopping, laying out on the couch, watching Netflix all day, and eating whatever you want. And as I said, in moderation, there's nothing wrong with eating junk food in moderation. There's nothing wrong with watching Netflix in moderation or buying things as you need them or want them in moderation. But it can become a problem when it is a habit. And I'll explain briefly why it's such a problem to our brain and body, our body-mind, is if you think about 1,000 years ago, even a couple hundred years ago, when we were out looking for water or looking for food, it took a lot of effort. Either we're walking for a little while, maybe to get to the stream, carrying water back, or we're going out and hunting, or we find a fruit tree. And as we come across that water or we come across that fruit tree, then our brain and our body releases a lot of feel-good chemicals and hormones. And those are there to reward us internally for the work that we did to help our bodies survive. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands here, but just bear with me. And this internal reward system has a purpose because it solidifies inside of ourselves, like, yes, I did something good, I found the water, and it helps us remember where the water is or where the fruit tree is, or learn, if we were hunting back in the couple hundred years ago. And nowadays, today in our society, we can get those exact same reward, good feeling chemicals in our body and brain simply by pulling out our phone and scrolling on social media or clicking a few buttons on the television or eating some junk food. There's so many ways we can get that instant gratification. And the problem with that is, if it's a habitual, persistent pattern and cycle, is that it causes addictive behaviors and we lose our ambitions, we lose our motivation, and ultimately we lose our inspiration and our happiness, our joy, and our drive for life. I mean, think about this. We have the most instant gratification available to us than we've ever had as a humanity, as far as we know. And in the collective, we're more depressed, more anxious, more stressed out, more sick than we've ever been in humanity's history, as far as we know. And I think that those two things are very closely correlated with each other, is that habit of the addictive seeking of pleasure, the instant gratification without the work, without the reward, is a It's a negative feedback loop. Isn't back in the day, we used to get those rewards, those internal dopamine chemical rewards from doing work and going out and doing things and benefiting our existence and moving our bodies, and then we would get that internal reward. And now it takes nothing, it takes no work. And so you condition your brain and body subconsciously to just think, why would I go out and do things? Why would I work towards my goals? Why would I try and change my life in the ways that support me? Why would I try to work out or exercise or anything like that when I can get the same exact feelings internally in the chemistry in your brain from just going on Netflix. And it's so much easier. It's so much more comfortable. And it is a very vicious cycle you can get caught in. And that is why I believe that those forms of self-love are harmful. Now, there's some other things like, taking a bubble bath or, going to the beach. Those types of things are very beneficial. That is, I would say that's a more neutral form of self-love. And it can be very positive as well. The first one that I described, the guilty pleasures, the indulgences, are negative, harmful in the long term. Things like taking a bath, going to the beach, all that stuff is neutral, but also can be positive. But then the type of self-love that I think is always positive, no matter what, is self-discipline. And I think that is the highest form of self-love that we can give ourselves. Think about it in this way. When the New Year's comes around, which at the time I'm recording, it's in like a half a year from now, over a half a year. But when the New Year's comes around every year, people make their New Year's resolutions. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to eat better. I'm going to sleep more, prioritize my sleep. I'm going to use my phone less. I'm going to stop watching as much Netflix. I'm going to, whatever it is, work on my business, work towards my dreams. And people start these New Year's resolutions. And on average, I believe there's some studies that on average, 2 to 3 weeks after starting their New Year's resolution, they give up. That's the majority of people. Some people still continue, those are the disciplined people. The majority of people give up. And it's like, why do they give up? One is because they don't have the self-discipline. And two is because the habits of the pleasure and the instant gratification are so much easier to get that feeling of comfort and fulfillment, temporarily empty fulfillment from within. It's so much easier to do it on your phone than it is to at the gym. It takes work, it takes discomfort. You got to get out of your comfort zone. And, the comfort zone is where the dreams go to die. And that's why I believe that self-discipline, to do the things that are outside of your comfort zone, is the highest form of self-love. And to relate it back to the example I just gave, the people who give up on their goals of going to the gym, for example, they set that goal for a reason. Maybe it's they want to lose weight, they want to gain muscle, or they just want to get more fit and feel better in their bodies. That reason, the why behind their motivation, is coming from a place of wanting to grow, wanting to better themselves, and wanting to love their body and their brains and just love themselves more. And so falling off of that is harmful to yourself in the long run. And it feels better. It feels more normal, feels more comfortable, to not go to the gym 5 times a week if you have never really done that, or just work out in general. You don't need to go to the gym. But that is why it is very harmful, I believe, at least to your highest good. If you want to stay stagnant, stay comfortable, then those self-love practices of Netflix and instant gratification, it's not going to harm your goals if all you want to do is just stay comfortable where you are. That's fine, I don't judge anybody. Everybody is where they are. But if you want to better yourself, if you want to better your life, if you want to feel better, if you want to be happier, more inspired, more motivated, more in love with life, you have to cultivate self-discipline, because that is how you get the things done that you want to do and how you continue to do them even when you don't feel like doing them. And I'm speaking from my own experience here. I'm not preaching to you guys. This is from my own experience. I will share a lot of different things about my story in future videos, but I was depressed for a long time. I was extremely addicted to social media, scrolling, a lot of other things, a lot of other addictions. And I know that cycle just gets you more and more and more into depression and anxiety and a lack of fulfillment, a lack of love for life. And self-discipline is the opposite. It is the upward spiral. It gets you more and more and more into the higher vibrational emotions of fulfillment, purpose, joy, love. Think about this. When you commit to doing something, as in your New Year's resolution, for example, and you fall off 2 or 3 weeks after you commit to it, what does that tell you? What is the signal you're sending to your brain and your body when you give up on what you committed to yourself? It tells you, well, it can reaffirm some subconscious beliefs of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy of change, this is too hard. And it diminishes your belief in yourself. It lowers your self-confidence. And in those ways, specifically, those are the ways that the lack of self-discipline harms you, is because it just brings your belief in yourself down, just continuously down, and the self-discipline constantly builds it up. You're either growing or you're regressing. And in order to grow, you have to do the things that are hard right now so that you can make your life easier, just, happier, feel better. If you do the things that are easy now, your life is going to be harder in the future. And I know that everybody's experienced that. I've experienced that plenty of times. If you do the workout now, today, then the next day it's going to be a little bit easier to do it, and it's going to be easier to feel good. You will naturally feel better. Whereas if you sit on the couch and eat a bunch of chips, then that's a very easy thing to do, but it's going to make working out the next day harder, and you're going to feel worse. And so the last thing I want to share with you guys before I end this video is a simple practice to build up your self-discipline. Because in the title, I mentioned what to do instead of these indulgent behavior patterns. Because that's the thing, and when it's a pattern, that's when it can be debilitating and harmful. But if it's just occasionally in moderation, that's okay. But so how do you build up this self-discipline? There's, infinite numbers of ways to do almost anything, but the easiest way is just to start small. Baby steps to get you to the point of being able to fully commit to anything that you do, and do the things that are hard when you don't feel like doing them. That's my definition of self-discipline, is being able to do the things you want to do or need to do when you don't feel like doing them. And so to build this discipline up, just to use a very simple example, if you want to start going to the gym, you want to start working out, going on a run, anything, you want to start moving your body more, exercising, then a very simple way to do it is, say you have a goal of going to the gym 5 days a week, working out for at least a half an hour every day. That's your goal. So for the first week, commit to going at least one time a week. At least one time that first week. If you go one time, work out for a half an hour, then that week is a success. And if you get yourself to go more than one time, then that's even better. But your goal is just, I'm going to go to the gym one time this week for a half an hour and commit to that. I'm going to do it. And then the next week after that, they commit to doing it for 2 weeks. You commit to doing it for 2 times a week. So the next week after that, you do it 2 times. I'm going to go on to the gym on Tuesday and Thursday, or Saturday and Sunday, whatever days, work for you. And that's your goal. If you do it 3 times, then that's amazing. But the goal is to do it 2 times. And you just continue that every week. The 3rd week, you do it 3 times. The 4th week, you do it 4, until the 5th week, you have started going to the gym 5 times a week. And by that time, it's going to be a lot easier. You're going to, notice the benefits in your body in this example. And you're going to probably want to keep going. And you can do this throughout any area of your life. Something else that's super simple, anybody can do starting tomorrow, is when you wake up in the morning, if you have an alarm on your phone, you turn your alarm off, and you don't touch your phone for 15 minutes. Or maybe even 5 minutes if it feels hard for you to do 15. Don't touch your phone for 5 minutes one day. The next day, don't touch it for 10 minutes. The next day, 15, until you work your way up to maybe an hour or something without using your phone after you wake up. And just these small habits that you can apply to any area of your life will build up that self-discipline, build up that belief in yourself, build up that confidence, and change your life over time. It's not an instant gratification type of thing. It's going to be hard. It's going to be uncomfortable, but that's exactly what you need in order to grow and get to the highest levels of your expression, to get to the best version of yourself. You got to go through the discomfort. And so yeah, that's why I think the self-love as defined in the terms of indulging is harmful to you. I hope that you guys got some value from is what to do instead of those things if you want to continue growing and becoming your best self. And I am super grateful for you watching this whole video if you did. And hit the subscribe button below, like, share it with a friend if you think that, they could get some value out of it too. Leave a comment. Let me know what you took away from this video, or if there's anything that you want me to dive deeper into. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.